Sorry to break it to you. You're stuck with me tonight. Sorry to break it to y'all. Let me say what's up to some of the comments. But before I do that, I'll just let you know Beverly let me know unfortunately she wasn't able to make it tonight, and we were going to cancel the stream. But I said, you know what? I might have a word for some of the actors tuning in tonight. Let me say what's up to some people. Hopefully, y'all aren't too bummed that you see this guy. Beverly always looks great. She'll sometimes come in on the back room. She's like, oh my gosh, I had to rush. Come on in, and she looks great. I'm like, well, keep on rushing. You know, her lighting looks great. Her makeup looks great. She looks great, and y'all always comment on that. So I know that's encouraging. Teresa, sorry, Diego here. Brooklyn, what's going on? Valerie, hey. Brad Roberts, Alabama in the house. Ali Gibbs, what's going on? Coeur d'Alene. I just spoke with an actor from Coeur d'Alene, actually. And I met somebody in Easter that's has family in Coeur d'Alene. Hey, Betty, I had a fantastic Easter. Easter was amazing. Second Easter in Tennessee, and we loved it. And what's up, Sam? Sam Benson. If I remember correctly, I think Sam, you're in Hawaii, or is it Hawaii? Casey, what's going on? Jenny, hey. William, what's going on? William Harris from Nolens. William is in Nolens. Ted Jordan in St. Louis. That's what's up. What's going on, Sin Mao? Man, I'm doing great. I'm doing great tonight. I'm not gonna hold you guys too long. Beverly will be back next week, so do not fret. She will be back, and she's great. So no worries on her. Now I'm in New Mexico. Okay, what's up, Adam? Hope you enjoyed the blessed Easter. I did. He is risen indeed. Stop looking for answers in life in an empty tomb. He is no longer there. You know what stood out to me in Scripture? I was reminded as we were studying through Lazarus, and when Jesus had told, when they were crying, and said, Jesus, if you would have been here, and he said, if you believe, and that stood out to me so much. If you believe, because that if stood out to me. If, meaning there is a decision that we need to take, a decision to believe. And I wish I could tell you guys that I always choose the right way. But sometimes I feel like I don't. I feel like a Thomas. And I needed the reminder, if you believe, to continue to hold on to that. And that's really the faith component. And I took that to heart this Sunday, the reminder to believe. And I was encouraged by that. What's up, Mimi? Great to see you as well. Barbara, hey. Tara, what's going on from Texas? That's what's up. I was just in Texas. All right, y'all. I kind of just wanted to, if you guys don't know, I have transitioned, what up, Anthony, to being a SAG-AFTRA franchise talent agent. And I opened the agency to receive submissions from actors, and I had over 1,000 people sign up to the email list to know when the window was going to be opened. And then we had 286 actors submit to that. I believe sober over 60. Man, praise God. If I had like an effect here for like an applause or crowd goes wild, I would put that right now. Sober for over 6 years. Amen. Praise God. I love that. Mona, what's going on? Kim, hey, Beverly. So receiving these 286 submissions, it was great. And I love being able to filter through every single one. That was a commitment I had. I wanted to look at each and every person that took the time to say, I am considering Diego. That means a lot to me. So I took that very serious. I went through each submission that came this way. And there were so many amazing actors. I am still meeting with them and sending emails to meet up with the second step to possibly signing them. And there's so much talent out there, y'all. It is so encouraging. There is so much talent out there, so many people that are investing their time, energy, resources to pursue this. And it's amazing. Barbara says that's a bunch of talent. That's right. A bunch of talent. And there's so many others. And of those, during my filtering of 286, there are so many things that stood out, things that were amazing about actors, but then also things that stood out that I saw would ultimately impact the probability of an actor being seen by either an agent or a casting director. So I was thinking, as I was preparing to come on tonight, to hopefully encourage y'all and equip you in things that you might be able to do to help your chances of being seen. And I took some notes here, and what I'm calling this here is I think I wrote 7 or 8. I think total I did 7. So the title that I'm doing for this is 7 reasons actors might get overlooked. 7 reasons why an actor might get overlooked. And I am basing this on the 286 submissions that I received, all of which, they were great, but there was a couple of things that I made notes that them that I didn't overlook, and because I actually took time to see each one of them. But I know that if this was another agency, or if they approached it in the same way for casting, they would have been overlooked. So these are the top 7 reasons why an actor might get overlooked. And number one is this. And again, take this as an encouragement. It's equipping and encouragement that I'm wanting to give you. So number one is this, why you might be getting overlooked. Number one is this. When I received all these submissions, there were some actors where I didn't have enough information to trust the actor in a scene. So there might not be enough information you're submitting that an agent might be able to trust you in a scene, right? So, example, I would get an actor that would submit, and he or she had a very strong look. It was a great look. They stood out. The problem was, beyond that, beyond the headshot, there wasn't any material of them acting. I had so many people that just submitted a headshot, no credits, nothing for me to find. They just had a great headshot. There was no reel. There was nothing that showed their level of acting. And to me, that's like an immediate, I need to pass on that, because I'm not looking to sign you based on potential. I'm looking to sign you based on what you have to offer now. And if you don't provide me with any content, any material that shows me your range, that I'm able to gauge what you're able to deliver, I'd have to move forward, right? An agent or a casting director is not trying to figure out if you have the acting chops. We're trying to make a decision if we're going to move forward with you. So my call to action for this is, give me one clean, uninterrupted scene where I can fully evaluate your performance. Now, you might be saying, well, Diego, I don't have any credit. I don't have anything to provide you with. You know what you can do? You have a cell phone. You're able to record a monologue. And that's what I was telling some of these actors. I'm like, you look great. Your headshots are strong. They say, I don't have a reel because I don't have any film. I don't have any credit. Record a monologue. I need to see something that you're able to deliver, right? Because this isn't about you lacking talent, right? Because I'm sure you're extremely talented. So this isn't about you lacking talent. It's about making your talent visible, right? Making your talent visible and then undeniable. Where when I see your submission, I can't deny, not that you just don't, that you have a strong look, but you also have undeniable talent. So for me, the one thing that I was noticing over and over was there was just not enough um, footage to make a decision. So when you're thinking about 286 and all you do is send me a headshot, what do you think I'm going to do when I get to you and there's nothing there? Think I'm going to have to take more time trying to hopefully figure out if you can act. Don't waste that opportunity. All right, so that's number one. No, number two is your age range doesn't match what you actually read. What up, Sayla? Hope I said that right, Sayla. Your age range doesn't match what you actually read. And this came up a lot. This came up a lot where people would tell me, they would submit their headshot, they would tell me how old they are, and then they would place the age range that they say that they would play. Um, Actors listing these, inspirational ranges instead of what they consistently read on camera, are setting themselves up to be overlooked, right? Um, Michael says, we've always been told to make a strong reel. More than happy to send you on full scenes. That's right. Um, so your age range doesn't actually reach. So to me, when you are placing yourself in an age range that you might hope to be a part of, but it's not a reality or something you're being, cast for over and over, there's immediate friction for me. One immediate thing for me is that maybe you lack a bit of self-awareness. Maybe you don't have a great group around you that is, maybe being honest with you. So I think a simple call to action in this is get honest, get external feedback, not from people like your mom or wife or husband. I mean, look, they're great people. I had one of my clients that we were having a conversation, and she was like, sometimes it's hard to go to my husband because he thinks my breathing is amazing, and that's beautiful. You want your spouse to think that, but sometimes you got to go outside of your immediate circle, go somewhere external so that you can get, some honest feedback, to tell you the age range that you align with. And I also want to encourage you. This isn't me saying that you don't look young enough, right? Or that you don't look old enough. Um, it's me encouraging you and affirming you that you are perfectly positioned for a specific range. And I don't want you to miss that opportunity, right? So I hope you hear my heart in that. This is not me saying you don't look young enough. I'm sure you are handsome and beautiful. So this isn't me saying you don't look young or you don't look old enough. I just think that you are perfectly positioned right now, um, for a specific range, and I don't want you to miss that opportunity. So I hope you guys hear my heart and when I'm saying these things. So number three, it's the way you're showing your work makes it hard to evaluate you. The way you're showing your work makes it hard to evaluate you. Um, and this was a big one. This was a bit of a uh, of a pattern that I was seeing. Um, Actors in their submission, they were sending me links to their Instagram, to an Instagram post, or sending me a link to their TikTok clips. Instead of like sending me an actual reel, they were directing me to their social media. And this isn't just an issue about the content. It's really an issue also about the format, right? Like there's a certain way that what that communicates to me is that maybe you haven't had much experience submitting or recording, that you're not aware of some of the standard way of submitting, um, a video for an audition. And you don't want to communicate that to an agent because they're going to start assuming that you are ill-equipped, at this stage in your career, right? I think the other thing is that can also create a bit of distraction where you're leading me to your Instagram, and sometimes not even your Instagram post, it's your Instagram account. So then I have to go and look for the actual post. It's not the most professional thing to do. So even if you're good and the reel might be good, it's just not the most professional way to submit that. I'd encourage you as a call to action to present your work clean, like in a clean professional format. And a simple way to do that is you're able to put it on YouTube or Vimeo, and you're able to put this on a private link so it's not on your public YouTube or Vimeo account. So that is I think might be a challenge. Um, so Teresa said, I wonder if the part of the issue might have been the fact that your Google form only allowed actors to select one age range. Some actors, but it didn't though. It was you were able to put your age, and then you were able to put an age. But I see what you're saying. No, I see what you're saying, Teresa. I see what you're saying. I think I probably put I'll probably add like other for that. So that's great. Thank you for that. I have to look back into that. So yeah, so that was in terms of like don't link your Instagram or your TikTok as a reel. No one wants to have to dig through that as well. What's up, Vincent? Sharon, that's right. I'm talking about acting reels. Yeah. Number 4, this isn't for everyone, but your submission feels early, not ready. This was, I think, sometimes because of social media, and I think sometimes because of what up, Don? Excitement. I think this has happened with a lot of people that might be excited, and the algorithm takes over, and they see a post that I made, and it said now accepting actor submissions, and then someone says, "Well, you know what? I need to submit. I've always had this desire to become an actor or an actress. So maybe this is God telling me I need to submit. I need to go and shoot my shot." No, don't. I have a bit of it rubs the wrong way when sometimes I hear people tell aspiring talent or creatives, just shoot your shot. Just go ahead and shoot your shot. Um, I don't think that's wise, and I don't think that's healthy advice to give a creative or someone that's excited about pursuing something, right? I always tell people that is an incomplete sentence. You should go ahead and shoot your shot once you've evaluated, your gifting, your talent. Shoot your shot once you've proven that you've practiced over and over again. Shoot your shot once you have taken time to build discipline into your craft, right? Then go ahead and shoot your shot. The example I give, is, Steph Curry is great at shooting the three, but this man had to shoot thousands upon thousands of 3-point shots in practice so that when he's in the actual game in the NBA, they're able to trust him to shoot a game-winning shot, even though I think yesterday he missed. That's not the point, though, right? You're not going to make a center who has no skill in shooting a three-point shot to go ahead and just shoot your shot. Why? Because that's not measured accurately, right? You're wanting to give the ball to the person that is most equipped. So my advice to you is don't just shoot your shot. If you see something that's might look like an opportunity, it may not be an opportunity for you to submit, but maybe the opportunity is for you to start getting equipped, right? Start getting your material ready. And this was a bit inspired with, I was getting some submissions, and for the headshots, I try to be encouraging and say, hey, don't use your selfies as a headshot. That's not a great look. That's an immediate, you're gonna get overlooked. And I got a couple of people that sent me pictures that were clearly like they were holding their camera or they were standing in their living room, and again, I see the heart behind wanting to step into a new industry that requires courage. So that's not me putting you down, but that's me wanting to redirect your energy. Instead of submitting, take that and use the energy into investing in getting some great headshots, getting involved either in local theater or taking online classes and coaching. That might be an opportunity to do that. because immediately when someone sends me a picture of them standing in their living room or holding a phone as a headshot, um, it's going to be overlooked, right? And that's not something for me to be like condescending to you about, but it's just not professional. Um, and I think as a call to action, I would say before submitting, ask, would I confidently put myself in front of a casting director today? Right? If everything I have right now, the material I've presented right now, or I'm about to submit, would I confidently put myself in front of a casting director? And I think being able to have that self awareness um, will go a long way. And hear me, this isn't about perfection, it's about preparation. It's about being as ready as you can because this is a competitive market, and I want you to be able to present the best you in this industry. Selfies in the car, yeah, that's a hard pass. Hard pass. Um, let's see. Someone said, "Hi, Diego. I hope at some point you open to representation that isn't across all markets. I love my New York rep so much. That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, and it not me, someone else. Um, so yes, that was four. Um, I think one more that I want to present is in terms of being early. Um, is being able to ask yourself, do I feel ready? When I saw some of these headshots and some of these reels, and there were some people that I saw that I was so encouraged by because they were so good. And then when we set up a Zoom call to just have a conversation and kind of get to know each other a little bit more, I started asking questions about like, family dynamic, what does the momentum look like for you right now? And then it really was it was beautiful because even if we don't get to work together professionally, it was still an opportunity to meet these actors. And some of them they were just like, you know what? Like at the end of one of the conversations, they're like, actually, I just don't think I'm in the right space right now um, to move forward. And I thought that was so cool. They were realizing like they have a family dynamic at home that demands their attention. They're not able to travel too much. It's taken a toll on them emotionally. And so in that conversation, it was really cool to have this moment of clarity that I realized maybe it's not a no ever, but maybe it's a no right now. And that's really the hope, right? Like the hope in the conversation is never for me to be like, I want to kill your dream. It's like, no, I I want you to succeed in a healthy way, right? Like I want you to move forward in this in a healthy way, but not at the expense of damaging who you are emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and also not to hurt you within your family dynamic where we're excelling in this one space, but inside or at home you're struggling, right? Like that's not a that's not healthy. And I don't, as an agent, as a friend, as a professional acquaintance in this industry, I would hate to set you up for that when you're not doing well at home. So that's the reason why it's so like important for me to have these conversations. So that's really was like the last thing I really wanted to share was being able to ask yourself, do you truly feel ready to move forward in this career? Um, and I think that would be extremely helpful. So those are some of the immediate things that came to mind. There's some other ones, but I just felt like these were more of the pressing things from my experience in these submissions. And again, I want to bring clarity here that for me personally, as an agent, I'm not looking for perfection, right? I'm looking for clarity. I'm looking for preparation. That clarity is going to help me understand who you are, how you're wired, what trajectory we can both embark on, and if we're on the same page. Um, so that's really what's been on my heart. let me get some of these comments. I think there's just some comments I was missing. Barbara says you are competing with so many others who are prepared with a great package. Exactly. Like exactly. That's why don't shoot your shot unless you are prepared because you are competing. Sometimes, especially if you're here within the faith-based industry, you're with Christian actors, and sometimes we can like kumbaya this whole mess. We're like, hey, yeah, you go, great. Yeah. Like that's great. We want to encourage each other, but don't miss the business component. Don't miss the competition here, y'all. Like there is a competition in this industry, and you are competing with that. And what you're competing with is just like not just the talent. You're competing with preparation. That's what you're competing against. Who is most prepared? Um, yeah. Mimi says yes. Adam says great. Diego, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Super helpful. Awesome. Sharon says we trust you and your judgment because you're honest. That's all I can be. Maybe sometimes to a fault. Maybe I can be too honest sometimes. I got to work on that. Sin says, even if I didn't make the cut, I still love to have a one-on-one conversation with you. Well, maybe I'll see you at some of these conferences that are going to be around. There are several that are happening. There's Beverly's going to be at ICFF, which is in Orlando, Florida. So if you're in Florida or you want to travel to Florida, ICFF is a festival. She's also going to be at the Focus Conference, which is happening here in Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, so maybe I'll see you guys there. I'm going to try to swing by one of those. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to be. I'll be traveling quite a bit for work. I'll actually be traveling to Orlando, Florida. I'll be in Orlando Thursday. I'll be there for the weekend for an event. Monica says, Diego, I didn't submit to you because you said you wanted the exclusive and have an agent who is awesome. You never know how things might change in the future. Yes, right now, exclusive. Are you done with submissions? I'm not done with submissions. I'm still going through them. There's probably got like another 2 weeks of meeting with people. So in total transparency, the way it's been working with me out of the 286, I've been filtering that down to people that stood out to me that had seemed to be the most prepared. And I'm reaching out to them bit by bit and setting up a Zoom call to just to jump in a conversation. And and out of the 286, it'll be impossible to give everyone feedback. Michael says, I have a professional headshot and solid reel, never got any feedback from Diego. Yeah, you probably won't. Like if I'm moving forward and I want to set up a Zoom call, then I'll jump on a call. But I have 286. I can't give everyone feedback on that. So that's not and I'm not done with submissions either. So I'm still reaching out to some of them, but it's just, this is not an operation with a whole bunch of people. This is who you got. For better or for worse, this is who you got. Sharon says we also have to work because we work for God, especially the faith-based atmosphere. Yeah, for sure. I really consider what Colossians said, doing all things unto the Lord. That's a big thing. I hope I didn't miss anything. Selah, I hope I answered your question. Man. So that is some of the encouragement and hopefully equipping and encouragement that I wanted to share tonight. Don't be discouraged. I hope you're not discouraged. This was meant to help. You might even know everything I said already. So just hopefully it was a reminder. Hopefully it was encouraging, and hopefully it provided some level of equipping as well. And that was really my heart for it. William says, beautiful feedback, Diego. Many agents would not offer this insight. Man, that's awesome. And thank you for saying that. And I love being able to share this. And that's why this beautiful thing that Beverly has, this Let's Talk Tuesday, and this community, what a blessing it is to be able to get feedback from y'all. And then hopefully we provide insight and feedback to y'all. Ashley Fisher says, not a small number of submissions to go through as one person. That's a lot of work. It was a lot of work. It continues to be a lot of work, and it's both beautiful and humbling, but it was also a commitment. I I I feel called to this. I had a conversation with a client of mine, and one of the questions they asked was, in moments where you feel either discouraged or could be drained, how do you keep going? And there are so many different answers, right? But the one that stood out to me was commitment. There's I have I committed towards this, right? I committed to step into something that I am responsible to seeing it through. And then after that, I can decide if I want to keep moving forward or not. So for me, when I seen all these submissions come in, it's so encouraging, like that anyone would even take time to submit something, knowing it's coming to me, who's not the best, not the most experienced, but they still took time to do that. So I owe it to first of all, I owe it to God to honor and steward this opportunity this that He's given me. Um, and then I owe it to my family to honor this, and I owe it to myself, and I owe it to y'all. You guys took time, so I need to take time to go through it. So yes, it wasn't easy, but it was worth it. And honestly, there were just times when I was traveling and I was at the hotel with some of my clients. I travel quite a bit. I'd be at the hotel late at night and I just pull it up and just start going through some of these submissions. And it was just so cool to see some people that I recognize from conferences, and then seeing their reel, seeing their headshots, and then new people that I've never met. And I'll tell you, I'm one of those agents when you submit, and if I like something or want to know more, I'm looking at y'all social media. I'm like, who is this person? I want to know more about you. So that is a genuine thing that I did with a lot of them. And I think that's probably why it took me a while to finish it off, because I'll look at a reel, I'll keep looking at it, and then on the other screen, I want to pull up your social media and just, man, get to know you more. Like, who is this person, right? And for many of them, it's like you guys aren't just actors; you guys are also, content creators. Your wives, your husbands, y'all do so much. So it was really cool. Um, so yeah, it was a lot of work, and my representing a specific region. I'm Nashville based, but I have access to all the major markets. You're the best. So honest, we love you. I appreciate that, Mona. All in God's timing. That's right, Sharon. Thank you for your honesty. You're welcome, Mimi. Um, and let's see here. Sam says, thank you for your info. Judy, thank you, Diego. Appreciate you. Um, so Monica says, one way to get better as an actor is to develop your acting technique. That's right. I taught acting to kids for 23 years and know that technique makes a big difference by allowing you to be more natural and believable. I love that. I said that to this one actress. She submitted. One of the reasons why she stood out to me so much was I didn't when I saw her reel, she wasn't becoming the character. She was the character. She was just I believed who she was on there. It just stood out to me so much. Um, Sayla says, Sharon Lanier told me to read. Oh, okay. That's what's up. Sharon Lanier. Okay, that's what's up. That's awesome. Now, I see her at different events. I think I saw her recently I think she was at NRB. I think I saw her there. Um, Jeff says, Amen. Um, appreciate you, Aaron. Amy says, I'm so excited for you and the plans God has for you and all those you touched through this journey. Safe travels to Orlando. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We'll contact you when everything is ready, not 1 minute before. Just so I would learn to do it now. I will tell you, don't DM me. This is not an encouragement to send me a DM with all your stuff. I please don't do that. I have submission windows. I just wrapped up a submission window because there were so many that were coming in. I'm going to open up a window, I believe, in the fall. So if you have your stuff, you want to submit, don't DM it. Wait till the submission window, because I don't want to miss your stuff. I don't want you to send it to me because I'm not going to watch it right now. I have so much on my plate right now that sending an email or DM, I can't put that as a priority. I owe it to these 286 actors that honored me and my timeline, that I'm not looking at anything else. So hopefully in the fall, um, uh, are you planning to go to Purpose Fest? And no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'll be going to September. I'll go to Branson, Missouri, um, for a film festival there. Actually, a couple of my clients are going to be there as well. Um, yeah. So what's up, Laura? Anna says Sharon is an all star. That's what's up. Okay, that's awesome. Appreciate you sharing. 59 Navy vet. Appreciate your service, Jeff. Awesome. That's cool. Yo, this was fun, man. Good to see y'all. You know, it's so weird sometimes being in front of the camera here, but I'm typically behind the camera. So it's great to engage with y'all here. I pray that you guys have a great night. It's fun. Keep showing up. And as a reminder, just no doesn't mean never. It might just mean not now. So don't give up. Keep showing up. I appreciate y'all. Great to engage with so many of you that I've seen before, and for some that I'm just meeting right now. Y'all have a great night, and I'll see you on the other side. Blessings. Peace.